You want to expand with them.
Have to what? Expand what? Hi, everybody. Good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you all with us. And I want to welcome you to this tonight's show, Cooking with Rabbi, with Frena Bakery. We'll get to that in a minute. We're live on Facebook, we're on Zoom, and we will be on YouTube. If you'd like to see more classes like this and shows like this, please follow us or subscribe to our page. And welcome tonight to our very special guest, the owner of Frena Bakery, Itzik Yaakov. Shalom, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, Itzik Yosef. It's okay.
Itzik Yosef, sorry, slicha. Itzik, I always know you as Itzik. Itzik from Frena. So, all right. Itzik Yosef. My name is Yosef too. All right. Very nice. So before we get started, I'm just going to, everyone is going to be muted, please. And if you want to have questions, we're going to ask, there'll be time for questions at the end. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can ask a question in the comments and we will try to answer them live. We're going to start the class, as always, we're giving some tzedakah. Tzedakah is always a good thing. If you'd like to join me, there is a virtual tzedakah box in the chat room. If you'd like to check the chats, let me just put this aside. And if you want to know more about Frena Bakery, they have delicious food and they actually deliver to our area. They'll be delivering to Chabad here in Palo Alto on Wednesday. You can check them out at frenabakery.com, F-R-E-N-A bakery.com, or you can check their Facebook page. All right, let's get to it. Now, the full recipe is going to be updated right after the show, and you can download it when you join the Jewish Daily Dose WhatsApp group. Check the link in the comments or description of this video. All right, so tell me, Itzik, before I start talking to you about yourself and some other questions, I want to get started with one or two things. First thing is I want to put the basil in salt water to get it soaked, because we're going to check it later. How much basil do I need?
About 2-3 cups of basil.
So
2 to 3 cups.
This?
Yeah.
I'll do the whole thing.
Just use all of it. Use all of it.
Okay. So I'm going to put some salt in the water.
He owns something in San Francisco.
Actually, I also found that the best way to kosherize the herbs is also to put them in warm water, not cold water, because the cold water warm water doesn't affect the herb, doesn't ruin it, but you will see many more things come out from it.
Okay, good. So I'm warming up the water. Hopefully there won't be a lot of stuff coming out of this one.
Hopefully, depends what you get.
I didn't get the organic, I got the regular. Okay, the organic usually has a lot more bugs. All right, the next thing I want to get started with is the dough, because it's going to take a while. So let's get started with that. And please, instructions step by step.
Okay, so you can start with the flour.
Flour.
You can use 4 cups of flour.
Okay, am I doing 1 or 2? Am I doing double?
No, double only on the yeast, because we don't have a lot of time. So just put, you have a measuring cup?
I do. Well, my question is though, so how many people is this going to make? How many pieces is this going to make?
It's going to be around 10.
10 pieces, okay.
11.
How much is a serving? 1? How much serving? Is it serving 1, so it'll be for 10 people, or?
No, it's like, probably 2 per person.
Okay.
Serving 4 or 5.
3, 4 cups of flour. Okay, 4 cups of flour. Next.
Okay, now you want to add 75 grams of sugar.
75 grams of sugar is a third of a cup. So a third of a cup of sugar, okay? This is a third of a cup of sugar. I did the calculations in advance to figure out, ordinary measurements for people like me. Okay.
15 grams of salt.
15 grams of what?
Salt.
Salt. 15 grams of salt is 2 tablespoons of salt. Tablespoon, 1, 2 tablespoons of salt. Okay.
40 milliliter of oil, canola oil.
That's a 2.7 tablespoons. So I'm going to put about 3 tablespoons. Now I have 2 kinds of olive oil. I have light olive oil and I have extra virgin. Which one would you like me to use?
Usually for baking, we can use canola oil, but maybe the light olive oil should be good.
So I'm going to put in just about 3 tablespoons. Okay.
Then we put a little bit less than 2 cups of water.
Okay. Now the water has to be warm, right?
Warm water will make it faster. Yeah, we'll make it rise faster.
So I won't be on camera, but I have a hot water spigot. I'll mix it hot and cold.
Yeah, don't make them too hot. You can actually add the yeast to the warm water and mix it, which will also activate the yeast faster.
Okay, so let me put in the first cup of water first, and then I'll do the second cup. I'll add the yeast to it. Okay, and how much yeast?
Usually we put 15 grams. Now we're going to do 30 grams because we want to make it rise. We want to make it rise faster. So,
okay, so 2 bags, yeah?
2 bags, yeah.
1 bag is 15 grams. Okay. 1 bag is about 2 1/4 teaspoons. Okay, whatever. 2 bags. Okay. So what is it that we're making now?
We're making we call it Sambusak, which is basically it's a pocket dough. It's a very similar recipe to a pita. This recipe is from Iraq.
From Iraq?
Yes, this is a very Jewish Iraqi. If you go to Iraqi bakeries in Israel, you're gonna have those many flavors. And it's basically we can also now we're going to bake it. So we either bake it or we also can also deep fry it. And we now going to make today with pesto and mozzarella and mushrooms. But you can put everything inside. Of course, you want. You can make filet chicken with meat. You can make it vegan using soy milk or sugar water as the egg wash instead of egg wash with a vegan filling. This is our top selling item in the bakery. We have 10 different flavors. We make it fresh on the brick oven. And
should I be mixing this?
Yes, you can use your hands. I mean, you can mix it, but you better just go get dirty.
I'll start with this and then I'll use my hands after. I also, last week also I used my hands. I have no problem with using my hands. All right, use my hands.
So you want to stop mixing until the dough, it's not supposed to be too sticky, and also not too hard, not too soft, kind of in between.
It's pretty sticky right now.
In the beginning. Also, we can always add
flour.
A little bit of flour after we get the mix done.
That's why you teach us someone.
Okay, so I'm going to keep on mixing this. And while I'm mixing this, I want to ask you, where are you from yourself?
I'm from Beersheba in Israel.
And your family?
My family, my father is from Iraq and my mom is from Libya.
But
so
this
what
is
we actually,
yeah.
So what we are doing is basically, here in Frena is we have, I grew up cooking, baking, always around food, and what we do, a lot of people came to the bakery in the beginning and they, okay, where's the lox and bagel and cream cheese? So we don't have any. What do you mean? You're a Jewish bakery? I said, yes, but we're a Sephardic bakery. We have other stuff here. So, the Sephardic recipe, Sephardic cuisine is definitely the highlight in Frena.
Yeah. So your parents, your mother baked, your father baked, your parents baked, or were you like a professional baker, or or you're cooking? I mean, in general, is it from home or from work? Where did you get your cooking skills?
Well, my cooking skills I learned from my grandmother. She's a top cooker, top cook, and she used to make amazing quantities of food on a daily basis. We have a big family, and my partner also, Yanni, he's a fourth generation baker. Also, his family is also from Iraq. They had bakeries in Iraq. They had bakeries in Shuk Machne Yehuda, in Petah Tikva, all over Israel.
And this kind of bakery, this kind of stuff, Sephardic stuff?
Yeah. Though this recipe is the Sambusak recipe. This is an over 100 years old recipe that we are sharing with you. Back Beautiful. Then it's simple. It's Back then the ingredients were not too much variety, and people had to do the best with the simple, which I believe also simple things can get the best flavor.
It's simple if you don't mind your hands getting all sticky.
I think you can also maybe you should already add some more flour.
Okay.
Maybe half a cup.
I probably should have taken a half a cup. Do you have a volunteer? Come over here and give me half a cup of flour, please. One of my grandchildren is going to come over and help me with this. Okay. Take about half a cup of flour. Yeah, that's fine. This is a third of a cup. Okay. Half a cup of flour. Okay. Then you came out here when?
I came out here 14 years ago. Probably right after I finished the army.
What brought you to San Francisco?
Good question.
Don't say a plane. Yeah.
I came here to travel. I started actually in San Diego. I was living there in the beginning, and after a while of traveling, you need to start work, and because there's a limit of the money, the money runs out, and so I started working, and then I had a chance to open a business not related to food here in the Silicon Valley. So I came here. I opened the business. It was, I think it was 10 years ago. And I had this business for 5 years. And things, I met my partner actually, ironically, in a Hanukkah party. We became friends. And then we discovered his baking talent. Also, but if it's still too sticky, keep adding some more flour until it's going to get.
Now let's add a third of a cup. It's still sticky though, yeah. Another third of a cup, please. This is Rachalea. Thank you. My lovely assistant, Rachalea. You can put that back, please. Or it doesn't matter. You can stay there. It's been muted.
Is it getting better?
Getting better, yeah. It's Do you usually do this with a machine?
Yeah, we do it with a mixer, of course.
I actually have a mixer, but my mixer is Basari, not for Chalavi, so I didn't want to use it.
We usually don't do also those small quantities. You know, usually we put
Right.
50-pound bag of flour minimum. So it's a little different.
Okay. All right, it's getting better. It's coming off my hands mostly. Do I want to add a little bit more, or do you think it's...
Yeah, you can add a little bit more even. Maybe add
Okay.
another
third of a cup?
Put half a cup, just to... So
This
people think
that
think that baking is very, you know, this is not patisserie. This is baking. They think it's too complicated and too accurate. It's like anything. It's like cooking. You have to feel it. The recipe changes. You know, if I get a recipe from the internet, it doesn't mean it's going to be perfect, because different flour brands act different yeast brands act different. Sometimes a brand of a salt is less salty or more salty than other salts. The same with sugar. So it's very much, also if it's a hot day, the dough will be completely different. If it's a cold day, it will be different. It's very much, it's like making anything else. You just have to sometimes just by the eye, you know,
Is it true that the air also affects, like they say that the air of San Francisco is better for sourdough and stuff like that? Is that true, that the air of the area actually makes a difference in the taste of the food?
I think they said more about water. Definitely water make a big difference. You can see in some areas in the world that some kinds of breads are, like in Italy, you can get a pizza that even if the same recipe will be used here, it won't be the same. So I think it's more about water, but like everything, if you play with it, you know, it took us, we have a pita bread oven from Israel here, because we really have the best pita, I can say, in California. But it took us a month. It took us a month to get there, because we had to play with the recipe to make it exactly like it's in Israel.
Okay, this is now coming off my hands. I don't think I want to add any more flour. There's a little bit of flour still left in the bottom of the bowl. Do I want to try and mix it all in, or is it okay?
Yeah, mix it in. Yeah, just make sure you won't have chunks. The dough need to be smooth with not too much chunks.
Okay. So then you decided to open. You met your partner and you decided to open up Frena Bakery. Yeah, that was your first. That's your first food establishment in this area, right?
That's my first food establishment ever. Yeah.
Okay.
We sat at home. It was late. We were hungry, and instead of eating an omelet, he just took out the mixer and started baking. So it was a nice surprise. And then you see, we should have a place like this in San Francisco, or it's gonna be amazing. The idea started cooking, and then we on Hanukkah, we started on Hanukkah. It was Hanukkah 2015, I think. We decided to just do donuts. We made donuts we went to a bakery here, and we rented we rented their mixers for dough. It was a kosher bakery. It's called Hamati. They used to make kosher pita bread. They still are. We make donuts over there. We just make it in the garage on the driveway. We brought fryers and did everything outside, and the demand and the look at people's face was amazing. Their eyes, they were so happy. The demand was way more than what we expected, and the feeling we got, the satisfaction you get is not like any other business in the food business. And then that kind of gave us the okay, let's go for it. Let's have something, because we wanted to do something for the community. Really, taking a part in the community was the big thing for it.
Right. So you started the bakery, and then you started south of Market, right?
Yes, we started kind of doing pop-ups, baking. We used to bake at a synagogue in San Francisco, Chevre Teilim. We start baking there once a week and then deliver. We did it for a few months, and then we got a place. We got a place here on Soma. It's in 6th Street and in Mina. It's downtown San Francisco. It took us a year and a half to build the place. We had an investor, a partner. It was challenging to build a place from scratch in San Francisco. And after a year, it took us another 6 months. After 2 years of planning and preparing, finally we opened. It was 3.5 years ago.
And it's been very popular. A lot of people coming there, a lot of people eating there. I know that I took my kids there. Unfortunately, I don't eat this kind of food personally, but my kids love it. And the community loves it. I know you bring it here every week, and it's really wonderful. Tell me, if you step back for a second and think about the meaning of food, what does food mean to you, number one? And number two, let's start with that. What does food mean to you?
Well, food is, it's maybe corny, but it's who you are. First of all, we know that what we eat enters our body and basically enters in every cell of our body, from our nails to the hair. Everything we eat completely dissolves in our body. And so I think, the type of food a person eats in somehow help or affect his personality, his way of life, his way of style. Food is a big part of life. Food is everywhere you go. If there is no food or not good food, it's not the same. Everywhere you go, if there is good food, and especially in the Jewish community, all the holidays and everything, it's around food, because it makes you the feeling of, it gives you what it is.
Are we good?
Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. It's not too hard.
Not too hard, no. It's pliable. But I do want to point out that I'm not going to take challah from this dough. Now, usually when you bake bread or you make dough, you have to take off a piece, make a bracha, and burn a piece. It's for challah. In the times of the temple of the Beit HaMikdash, they used to take a loaf and give it to the kohen, to the priest. Nowadays, we can't eat it because we're all what's called tameh, in a state of tum'ah, and therefore we're not able to eat it. So instead, we take a little piece and we burn it. However, there needs to be a minimum amount of dough before we do it. And 4 cups of flour is not enough to actually take challah, which is why I'm not taking challah now. Just wanted to explain that. Okay, next.
So now we should divide the dough into balls. You can say about 80 grams for each ball.
So I want to use this surface. Should I put paper down or?
You can put either flour or parchment paper, flour, or saran wrap, so it won't stick to the.
Whoops. I have parchment paper, or I could just put flour. You say flour is enough?
Put flour, yeah.
Okay, like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that good enough?
Yes.
And I want to divide it into how many balls?
Each ball is supposed to be around 80 grams, so maybe a little bit bigger than.
I have no idea what 80 grams means. Sure. Is this good? Is this too small, too big?
This a little bit bigger,
I can weigh it. Let's just see for fun. Let's see what this weighs, just for fun. Units. Okay, let's see. This is ounces. How do I? This is 72 grams. Okay.
Fine. Yeah.
Okay, put one here. Another one like this. Over here, like that.
Yes.
Another one like this. Why south of Market? Why in Soma? That wouldn't be the first place I would think of you would put a kosher restaurant.
So we didn't just want to open a kosher restaurant because it will be in the Bay Area not wise, not a smart business idea, because there's not enough kosher community to sustain, as we seen before, a kosher business completely. Also, what we wanted to do is we wanted to bring to San Francisco, to the Bay Area, we wanted to bring a new type of cuisine, a new type of bakery. When I first moved here, it took me 5 years to get used to it. Every time I see a bakery sign, you get excited. Now I only eat kosher, but when I just moved here. So every time you see a bakery sign, you get excited. You go in and then I get disappointed. Only muffins, or they have brownies. I said, where's the borekas? Where's the bagels? Where are the pitas with zata? Where is the food? I want food. So it was there was a need. There is a need in a savory kind of bakery. So we wanted to bring a new flavor, an Israeli flavor, to the Bay Area. And we know San Francisco is very famous for her restaurant and our food scene. And we thought that the only way for us to succeed and to stay for the kosher community, and to stay for the Jewish community in business for a long time, is to have a lot of non-Jews, and make sure everybody come and eat here and like the food. So we decided to open in Soma because it's a business-oriented area. Also, all the tourists are coming here. And after 6 months after opening, we were chosen by Yelp as top 10 bakery in San Francisco.
Oh wow, that's great.
So it was a nice achievement, and this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to we don't just want to be a kosher bakery. We want to be one of the top bakeries in the Bay Area in San Francisco.
And so let's talk about that. Why kosher?
Kosher is for the soul, Kosher, you have to have something that is more than making money. And I want everybody to come in here. I don't want, everybody should come and eat and enjoy. I don't want to make sure people cannot come here or cannot sit here. And waking up in the morning and providing and doing something not just for your pocket, but also for people, for the community, make people happy. The smile of faces. People come here and they were here. Oh, I was here 2 years ago. I was starving. I had nothing to eat, and now look at this amazing place. You see the smile on their faces, and they come the next year. They bring their family. I know now there's a place to come. I can come here again. That's basically the best push in the morning when you wake up. Yeah, you should cover it with you can put a saran wrap or a towel.
Well, I'm following your instructions. It said a towel, so here we got a towel. Okay. Now, what's the next step? I have to start working on the other stuff. Okay. So what's the next step now?
So take the pesto leaves and put them in the mixer.
Okay. Now I have to just check them. So can you see me? I'm gonna go to the other camera. Okay. Let's put this away, please, if you don't mind.
Also, maybe I don't know if your oven is already.
No, it's not on yet. So what temperature do we put it on?
Do you have a fan in the oven or no fan?
Yes, I do. It's not a very good one, but it's a fan.
Okay, so you can put it on 375 with a fan on.
Okay, I just want to tell you, this oven I usually like to put a little bit higher because it just doesn't work that well.
That's fine. 400.
Okay, so leg bake 400 and. Okay, the oven's preheating now. Now, what I do always when I do vegetables is I have my light box. So the light box, put this out of the way, and I'm going to take the pesto and I'm going to put it in here. Should I put it in with the stalks?
The really big ones you can remove. The small ones are fine.
Okay. This is why you have to have mashgiach in a restaurant, mostly so that he can check the vegetables, right?
You'll be surprised. People, a lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to eat a salad. I'm just eating a salad over there. I'm not eating any meat or this restaurant. And you'll be shocked and surprised the things that come out from greens, especially curly parsley, kale, of course, cilantro. It's once you see the stuff come out of it.
I was very surprised when I first came to America. I came from England, and I had heard that in America they don't check for vegetables. So I was at a wedding, and I asked to speak to the mashgiach, that salad, and I asked the mashgiach if he checked the vegetables. And he says, oh, you're from England. No, in America we don't have to check the vegetables. And as he's saying this, a little caterpillar was walking off my plate, off my salad plate.
It's a divine providence.
That's right. That's right. Okay, I'm just going to check this as quickly as I can. We have a few minutes. What do you do? Do you check your own vegetables? Do you have a mashgiach? How do you do it? Do you have a lot of, I assume you use a lot of leaves. How do you do that?
Well, because we don't sell meat here, we don't have, it's not like a meat place needs to have a mashgiach on site all the time. So we don't have a mashgiach. We have, we have training for all the workers of how to kosherize vegetables, and of course the kitchen manager is on it. Me, the baker, a few people that are shomer Shabbat in the bakery, and the rabbi from the Vard comes about once a week to make sure to do a surprise check for us. He takes some vegetables from the refrigerator, see if we check them or no. He asks questions. He asks the employees questions to see if they know how to do it. Also, we gave up on a lot of things. We gave up on. We don't sell kale anymore just because it's too much of a risk. Even if you soak it a few times, doesn't mean it's still clean. So some things that that are very, very high risk to have bugs in them or not kosher things, we just don't do it to begin with.
Right. Tell me some of the challenges of running a kosher place, a kosher bakery. If it was not kosher, you'd have a lot of things like that would be easier. What are the biggest challenges of running let's start with talking, let's start in general. What are the challenges of running a restaurant in this area, a bakery, a restaurant? Tell me some of the difficult parts.
Well, everybody tell me, everywhere I go, you should open a place in Palo Alto, you should open in San Jose, you should open in the East Bay, you should open. I know I should open, I want to open, but opening is not a problem. Coming every morning, opening the door every morning, everything is fresh and always consistent and tasty. That's the problem. That's the hard part. So food business is not like any other business, especially a bakery, because usually businesses there is a behind the scene work. There's always prep in a restaurant, but bakery, we open the kitchen every day at 12 a.m. at midnight.
Wow.
Because people need fresh bread in the morning. You can't make the bread the day before. It won't be the same. And you have to, and then the next day you have the entire day to sell it. So it's it's an endless business. And actually, the fact it's kosher gives us a day off. If it wasn't kosher, probably this place would have been more. It's 7 days a week, 24-hour nonstop.
Okay. Yeah.
And
so what's the positive side of it?
The positive side of being kosher.
You show this camera? No, generally of the bakery. You told me the challenges. What about, how's this? Is this enough?
You
see?
Put a little bit more.
Okay.
Because when you grind it, it's going to be almost nothing. So, you know, every hard thing you do in life, once you finish it, the satisfaction is the best, you know, is enormous. So that's the good part of it. You know, when you know you worked hard and you did something it was very challenging, you had a very busy week or a crazy order, and everything eventually came out, and people are now sitting home and eating your food and enjoying and hopefully saying good things about you. Or when you come to visit somebody and you bring some of your own goods to his house, and the satisfaction people get and the happiness they get from it, and it's worth everything.
Now let's talk about the challenges of a kosher bakery specifically.
In San Francisco, the ingredients are probably the most challenging thing, because we need to bring a lot of the ingredients from Los Angeles and from New York, like spices and cheese and those kind of things. For example, if we had a business in New York, you know, it would have been much cheaper to get everything because we don't have to pay shipping from New York all the way down here. You know, people sometimes in an area where you don't have a lot of kosher community, you know, making your name, to have a good name as a kosher business, it's more challenging, because a lot of time people think that the kosher business, you know, they don't gonna go there because they think it's kosher. Oh, it's probably not as good. It's kosher. It's maybe the mom and pop shop. So making a name for yourself and getting ingredients. We have a lot of things. We could have done many more beautiful and tasty things if we are not kosher. We can get, you know, endless amount of dairy items and fillings we could have done. So you have to be more creative with less ingredients.
But still, you feel that the satisfaction of having a kosher place and serving the kosher community, as you said before, is all worth it, which is wonderful. We benefit a lot from that. All right, I'm going to put this cover on.
You should put about a quarter to a cup of olive oil.
Light olive oil, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Where's my measuring cup? What did I do with it? I think it's in the sink. Is it about a quarter of a cup?
Yeah, quarter of a cup. You can put a little bit more even.
Okay. Okay.
And then you can put also a handful of pine nuts.
Like this?
Yeah, it's fine.
Maybe a little bit more, since I bought a whole bag of it.
You can put a little bit more. You don't want it to be too strong, because the pine nuts are a little bit bitter and they can give it a little bit bitterness.
All right.
2 cloves of garlic.
For that, I have to.
You can put one also. One is enough too. If you don't want it too garlicky.
Well, I think people like the garlic, so we can do. I'll put 2. Actually, this is very big. I'll just put this one. I learned this from another Israeli chef, to just bang it.
Yeah, it's the best way to peel them.
Okay, so that's enough?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
You can put a pinch of salt, you know, a quarter of a tablespoon.
So about like that?
A little bit less even. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you mix it and it's not mixing well, just add a little bit more oil to make it some more liquid inside.
Okay. So this, I'm going to mix it on low. This Vitamix is very, very fast. So I'm going to mix it on low. On low, it works like a regular blender.
If it looks dry, you can add some oil.
It doesn't look dry. It's just not enough in there. Let me turn it up a little higher. Maybe I will put a little bit more. Well,
Just add some oil, yeah.
okay. And I think it looks okay. There's a couple of leaves that are in there, but on the sides, which I can push down, I guess. It looks pretty good. So I'm just going to do it one more second. How well does it have to be blended?
It can be a little bit rough. You can have some chunks in it. It doesn't have to be like a paste completely.
Looks pretty good. Can you see? Spotlight. Wrong one.
Yeah, lift it out with a spoon. Let's see how it looks with a spoon.
See, the idea, Itzik, of this is to show the community that they can do it too. If I can do it, they can do it too. There you go.
Yeah, it looks perfect.
Okay, now what? Put it in a bowl?
You can put it in a bowl. You can leave it there. Just put it right here in the pocket.
I think I'll put it in the bowl because the knives will be in the way. So let me clean it out of here. What is you said this is one of the favorite foods for people to eat. What is your favorite food to cook? By the way, interrupt me and tell me what to do meanwhile, but what is your favorite food to cook?
It's a question I've been asked a lot. I don't have a favorite food to cook. It really depends on the season, the time of the day, the weather, where I'm at. When I start cooking, my passion to food, I guess start cooking, with my grandma fish recipe. And that was the beginning of my cooking experience. Moroccan fish.
Moroccan fish is amazing. Moroccan fish is really amazing. One day, Bezrat Hashem, we're going to do a Moroccan fish recipe. Okay, next.
Okay, so let's check the dough right now. Okay, so it's got a little bit bigger. Usually we have to let it weight more, but it's fine. It's not.
Okay.
So you can just choose one and let's fill it out.
So I roll it.
Put some flour on top so it won't stick.
Oh, I need the flour. Can you give me flour in a
and make some room, you know, move some around so you can have some room to work. You can also prepare the egg wash if you.
Okay, let me, I'll do one and then, thank you. Okay, a little bit of flour on top, like that.
A little bit more. Yeah, it's fine.
And then roll it?
Yes.
I didn't expect it to get so big.
Yeah, because it's soft, it's warm, so it's easy. It's easy. If the dough is cold, it's harder to work with. It won't be as flexible.
Okay, this is pretty good.
Yeah, this looks like a very good size.
Okay.
So what we do is, an oval shape is fine. You can keep it oval. It doesn't need to be round.
Okay.
And now we are gonna egg wash the inside.
Do we want to? 1 second. Do you want to cut the mushrooms? Do you want to cut the mushrooms? I'm checking the egg as I open it. I've told people before it's a good idea to open the eggs into each one separately into a bowl. But because it's only 2 eggs, I'm just going to open it into here. I don't expect there to be any blood. And if there is, it'll be fun. We'll throw it all out. And let's see. No blood? Okay, good. We're good. All right. And then mix them up, right?
Yes.
Anything else in the eggs or just the eggs?
Yeah, put a pinch of salt. Always in the egg.
Okay. Pinch of salt.
Surprisingly, the organic eggs, the brown ones, usually have more blood in them.
Yeah. Well, we always knew as a kid never to buy brown eggs. In Israel, they give you credit if you have an egg with blood in it. You bring it back and they give you, and you don't give it back. You just come, next time you come to buy eggs, tell them so many bloods, and they give you credit for it. I never understood how they could do that, but that's what they do. I don't know if it's everywhere. I know in Kfar Chabad it was that way. Okay, we good?
Yes.
Okay, now I have a brush and some, how much? A little bit?
So you don't want to put, not too much, so it won't be too wet, but put the right enough amount so that the egg is like the glue for the dough. So we can, if you want to put egg, it won't be able to close, and everything all the cheese will melt out when we bake it. So it's
the egg
more
is
important to put
all the way to the edges, right?
Yes.
Okay, is that good?
Yes.
Okay.
And now you rub a spoon of pesto.
What about the mushroom?
After the pesto.
You have to cut them up, no?
Yeah, you can slice the mushrooms.
Okay, how do I, here, switch the camera. How do I, 6 mushrooms, you said? Put this over here. Okay. 1, 2.
In one pocket, you can put around 2 mushrooms, it's fine. 1 pocket.
And just slice or dice or what? Slice like this?
Whatever you like it. I like it sliced thin.
Okay, so now we start with the pesto. 1 spoonful of pesto, you said?
Yeah, 1 spoon of pesto, and then kind of rub it, but make sure it won't touch the edges. There we go, yeah.
Good?
Yes.
Okay. Then mushrooms?
Yeah, put the mushrooms.
Flat?
Yeah, flatten.
Okay.
And then we take about half a cup of shredded cheese. A handful. Depends how cheesy you like it. If you put too much cheese, it will open also. So you can't put too much cheese.
So like, is that good?
Yeah, this
like
looks
that?
good.
Okay.
And now this is the tricky part. Now you need to hold from both sides and give it a little stretch, yes. And choose one side that's going to go on top of the other. Make sure you won't rip the bottom. Yeah. Yes. Just try to close it as much accurate as you can. And then with 2 fingers, squish, press on the edges to seal it.
Okay.
Seal it, give it a better seal, especially from the edges where you close it in the back. Yes, there, yeah. So because the dough.
Okay.
And then we can put some more egg wash on top. Give it a nice shine. Also, it gives it a nice crisp in the oven.
Okay.
And usually in Frena, the way we recognize what's inside is we mark each pocket. Each flavor has its own mark. So for example, in the pesto, we put some sesame on top and a slice of mushroom, or you can put oregano on top.
But this is all, so should I do something on top or just leave it? I mean, it's all the same.
Like
okay, now do I need to put something on top of this or just put it straight down?
You need to put a parchment paper, yeah.
Parchment paper.
And if it's too big, you can fold it so it won't be, because it will fly with the vent and it can cover the pocket and won't bake it good. So even take a small piece of parchment paper.
Okay, next time I'll take a smaller piece.
You can even fold it in half even.
Fold it in half?
Yeah, half and another half, a quarter.
Am I going to put it under each one, a separate piece of parchment paper?
No. I mean, now if you're making just one right now in the oven, so just make sure only under this one there is, so it won't be too much around it because it can fly. The vent can cover it and it won't bake as well.
No, I understand, but I want to put a few pieces down. No.
Put a few pieces down. Yeah, this is good.
So then maybe I just go like this, like that. Like that. No?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, and just throw this down. Okay, and this goes on top of it, right? Just like this?
Yes.
Like that?
Yes.
Okay, good. Another one?
Put some flour.
Yes, thank you for a reminder. Flour. Away. All right. I got to tell you, I was always afraid of baking. It's interesting. I decided I'm going to do this, and it's not as bad as I thought it would be.
You look natural.
Appearances can be deceiving. Okay, now put the egg on it.
Yes, egg wash.
Egg wash.
So what you can do if you want to make it the process shorter, so you just roll a few of them, and just egg wash a few of them. Put a pesto on a few of them. Just make a cook line.
Okay, sounds good. I'm going to do that because I want to put maybe 6. You think will go on this tray?
Yeah.
Okay, some pesto. More mushrooms. Can you please take this away? machine. And a handful of cheese. This one is going to open. Definitely going to open.
Is there cheese on the edge?
The pesto on the edge a little bit. All right, we'll have an open one. Pesto, you see?
Yeah.
All right, we'll live with it.
Don't squeeze too far out from the edges inside. Don't press it because you want the cheese to melt and to go. You want each bite to have cheese in it and pesto. If you press it in the middle, you will have a thick crust and not enough. And most of the cheese will be in the middle. So you're going to eat, some bites you're going to eat only dough. Some bites you're going to eat cheese and pesto. You want each bite to be balanced.
Now you're being picky with me. But that's the whole point, right? To make it really good. Okay.
And I mean, the things on top that you put, it just, if you have guests or anything, it's just a beautiful serving. You put, and then also if you make a few flavors for the guests, you can identify what's in each one. You can explain to them what's in each one. If somebody is allergic to something or like something specific.
Yeah, like you said, like sesame or piece of mushroom or something. I got it. I understand.
Poppy seed, chili. So the original flavor of the sambusak is actually garbanzo beans. We have it here in Frena, of course. It's sautéed garbanzo beans with onion and it's also vegan with onion and spices. And the way we eat it in Frena is I noticed that when we open, we sold a lot of them, and then when me and the workers and everybody take a break and eat a packet, we never just eat it like that. Everybody open it and we just stuff it with, we basically make it like a sandwich. We put inside the boiled egg, which is amazing. You put pickles, you put tahini if you want. You can put a bit of spicy sauce. You put the tomato, put some onion, fresh onion. And so what we have here in Frena, it's called Frena style. So the way we eat it, you just ask it's Frena style and we open it and put everything inside. So if you make one, you can also make it your own style. Just open it and put inside whatever you like. After it's baked.
Yeah.
How long does it take?
How long does it take to actually cook, to bake?
It takes, so it depends on the oven, of course. 10 to 15 minutes, depends on the oven. You have to basically, you put it for 7 minutes on, if you have a strong oven, 350. If it's like your oven, you put around 375, 400. You put it for 7 minutes, and then you rotate it. You take out a tray, you rotate the tray, you put it back in, and for 5 more minutes. Also look, if after 7 minutes it looks pretty baked, put for 3 minutes. You can always add another minute, but if you put too much, it's going to be too late. So the way to look at it is you actually don't look at the top, you look at the bottom. If sometimes, especially in strong ovens, it can be well done from the top, but the bottom is still kind of very light and doughy. So you have to lift it a little bit. Look, if the bottom is baked, the bottom of course won't be brown, but it won't be, if it's a little golden in the bottom, if the bottom is baked, then it's ready.
I forgot to put the egg wash on, so I'm putting it on now.
Yeah, you can
around
just put
the
it on
edges.
That's fine.
tell me about the future of Frena. What do you foresee in the future for Frena?
Future of Frena. If you would ask me that a few months ago, the answer would have been different. But we are living in a very challenging time right now, especially for every business, and especially for food businesses. But we are lucky to have a good community behind us, and to keep going. Keep going. I have a lot of friends from the food industry that cannot do business anymore, and we keep going. The future of Frena is, we have opened a small Frena location, another location. The idea, we wanted to make Frena, to open a few locations, to make it as a chain, which is definitely possible. But what we have learned is that Frena needs to be, Frena cannot have small locations. We need to have big locations. So with a full size kitchen, less logistics and moving things from place to place. So definitely, opening. I think the next location for Frena is definitely around Palo Alto, between Palo Alto and Sunnyvale area. We don't want to go too far. We have a lot of people from LA, Miami, New York. They want to come and open a place over there for them, but we prefer to stay close by to where we are right now. And we just want to, stay here for a long time and be the best in what we do.
Sounds great, and I wish you a lot of atzlacha. I think if you keep on doing what you're doing, I think you're going to grow and you're going to continue, because you're building a reputation for excellent food and for excellent service, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm not going to ask everybody to wait for another 15, 20 minutes till it's done. But what we will do is I will post the pictures of it once it's done. And now I want to open up. Does anyone have any questions, please, for Itzik?
I missed the beginning. This is Lucy. What is the name of the restaurant?
It's called Frena. Frena.
Frena? Okay, thank you.
They're in San Francisco, but they also deliver to Palo Alto, to Chabad, once a week.
I will look it up online. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, tomorrow we are coming to Palo Alto.
So how do people order from you if they want to order?
We don't, you can call the bakery and we can prepare a bag for you, but we don't usually, the best is to come. We bring a variety of everything we make, and we just fill up the car, and you can just pick fresh items or whatever your eye catches and whatever you want to try.
Where do we see you? Where do we meet you?
At Chabad. What time?
Yes.
At Chabad. Sorry, I did not hear that.
What time are you coming tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're going to be, let me check. Tomorrow I believe we're going to be at Chabad. At 5 p.m.
So you said to put it in for 8 minutes, you said, and then turn it around?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to put it in the oven right now. And set a timer for 8 minutes.
We're going to have babka.
And what?
Also tomorrow. Also, what we did is we actually have amazing. We just made it yesterday. We made it was amazing. I took a bite and I finished the whole tray. We made pizza babka. So we start making savory. We did it on Shavuot just for the holidays. It was a big hit, and we just decided to keep doing them. So we're also making pesto mushroom mozzarella babka, and we're making pizza babka, which is amazing.
So what is it? Sweet and savory, or is it savory?
It's savory. We also have sweets. We have we have chocolate babka, almond cream and chocolate, halva and chocolate. We are working on poppy seed babka.
Wow.
We have a question. What does the name Frena mean?
What does the name Frena mean?
Frena is you can also see you can see in see this is the oven. Frena is in Moroccan actually. Fren in Moroccan is flour, and Frena is an ancient brick oven, which is what we have in the bakery. We have in the kitchen, it's a storefront. We have a brick oven, and we make we make the pockets in the brick oven. We don't make them in a regular convection oven.
I see. Okay.
You use
Any other questions? Yes.
what spices do you use? Do you use any Mediterranean spices?
Well, of course, yes. This specific recipe is more, it's a different style. It's more Italian or. But we use a lot of cumin. We use za'atar. We have za'atar from Israel, which is a pure kind of za'atar. We use turmeric, paprika, cumin seeds, cilantro seeds, shawarma spices. We have a large variety of spices here that we use for the Mediterranean islands.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, somebody asked, tomorrow we're going to be from 5 to 5:30. We're just going to be outside.
It's good. One of the good things about the situation now is you don't have a lot of traffic, rush hour traffic to fight.
Not true.
Coming down,
Yes.
no?
There's going to be traffic.
Not like they used to be at 5 o'clock in the evening from San Francisco to Palo Alto.
Well, try coming over here on the weekends.
Oh, well, yeah. On South Half Moon Bay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will he be at your house or at the synagogue?
At the Chabad, at the synagogue.
Thank you.
All right. Well, listen, it's in the oven. I'm sure it's going to be great. We're going to show some pictures to people after we're done. I want to thank you very much. This has been a very interesting experience for me. I don't usually bake, and this has been very interesting. It's been very nice. I'm going to finish up the rest because my kids are chomping at the bit to eat it. And B'ezrat Hashem, we hope that everyone will be seeing you tomorrow. And I wish you a lot of success in continuing to provide kosher food to the community. It's a very, very important thing. The community needs a lot of good kosher food. And we appreciate very much the fact that you're providing it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And thank you for the community. Thank you for everybody.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to serve you, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I just want to point out that today is the first day of the month of Tammuz. Tomorrow, the second day, and tomorrow night is the 3rd of Tammuz. It's the yard site of the Rebbe, who passed away on the 3rd day of Tammuz. There's going to be a lot of online programming, and we will be sending out information. There's a full day program on Thursday. You can get on any time of the day and see all kinds of programming about the Rebbe. And there'll be lots of other things going on. So please keep an eye out, and we will be very happy to share that information with you. And just a reminder, if you want to find out more about Frena Bakery, Frena bakery.com, or you can check the Facebook page. Once again, it's a shkoach. Thank you very much.
Enjoy.
Thank you very much. Take care.